Hey everybody, it's Glenn back with another Clash Royale analysis video. We have the NoTilt League Special Edition Grand Finals featuring Team Queso and Chivas Gaming. This was incredible. It came down to the 1v1. Both teams have won a King of the Hill set, so they sent their best players for what was a really hype matchup. It was Anaban versus Ruben. Let's go. This is game one. I'm probably going to do the whole series. So let's talk about game one here. We got barrels start off with, and it just gets answered with minions. Okay, so nothing doing. Right there to start, skeletons just to distract the minions, so there's less damage done to the tower. But this barrel comes in, and this damage done to the barrel is very important. Because here comes Sparky right here. And she's going to get the shot off on the tower, and nothing happens to the Princess Tower. But that's very important that it happened in that way. Because if we look at it here, if this barrel makes it at full strength to the Princess Tower, then damage is going to be done to the tower, obviously. But it's going to allow this knight to stay relatively free. But because Sparky had to stop right there, now this knight crosses the bridge and no chance for it to do pretty much anything. So here comes this princess, and it's going to be a Goblin Giant Sparky deck for Anaban, which, you know, is pretty popular. Here comes Minnie on the left side. With this Dark Goblin trying to stop this push right here. Minnie gets 2 shots on the tower. This Goblin Giant gets stopped. And Dark Goblin does enough here. There was so much happening right there. We need to rewind. So let's start off with what happened on the weak side. With the Princess and Minnie. So here comes Princess right here. And here comes Minnie to answer this side. Now, doesn't look like much. Minnie's just trying to deal with Princess so that Princess doesn't do anything over here. It's really what Ruben does and, quite frankly, does not do in this situation that's going to dictate everything about the remaining sequence that happens over here. If Ruben puts something over here to protect this Princess, then that takes away from this hefty attack right here. There's going to be nothing else to defend here, and he only has 3 elixirs to deal with what's going to be happening. So does he deal with Minnie on the left side and just hope that this Inferno Tower and Dark Goblin do enough to stop Sparky and Gob Giant, or does he put whatever that defensive card is going to be, which is most likely going to be a knight or skeletons to get to knight, over on the right side? Ruben ultimately decides that, okay, he's going to take whatever damage happens on the left side of the tower and focus on making sure that Sparky and Goblin Giant don't take down the tower right here, right now. So this is pretty much a game-changing decision right here. This knight answers Sparky. This Dark Goblin stays alive just long enough, and there we go. So here comes this Musketeer to try to stop this Skeleton Barrel. And it does, but it does take some damage as well. So we kind of got a reset going for it, and based on what's happening right here, it's really on about to decide, but Ruben goes barrel right away. This is a fast deck. I think it's less than 3.0. I'll have to check the stats once it's over. Here comes Minnie. Skeletons bring everybody to the center, and this Dark Goblin's playing amazing defense right here with this knight. And so here comes the Skeleton Barrel push. This Musketeer is going to answer this Skeleton Barrel and not Dark Goblin. So Dark Goblin's going to have a fun time here. The zap was used on the Skeletons, so that means this barrel is going to be also having a fun time on this tower. And so we're now into double extra time. But we got to rewind this for a second here because there was a lot happening. And this sequence was just massive for Ruben, especially in this game. When he was trying to come back, he's down in tower. And it looks like it should be Anaban who's dictating what's happening. But Ruben's not allowing that. And I think that was huge, especially given the lineup that he has going up against Anaban, who has two big heavyweights with Sparky and Goblin Giant. If he had just waited and said, okay, I'm just going to defend wherever Sparky and Goblin Giant go, then it may not be enough to handle what is going to be pretty much a massive push. So it was really good on Ruben to say, okay, I'm not going to let you dictate the pace, even though I'm down in tower health. I'm going to dictate the pace right here. So here comes Dart Goblin and Skeleton Barrel, and this Musketeer answers the Skeleton Barrel and not the Dart Goblin, which is huge because Skeleton Barrel got a buff just recently where its speed increased. And it's really huge. Now everybody's using it. If this was a previous season where Skeleton Barrel was not in and didn't have the speed it has now, that Musketeer is most likely answering the Dart Goblin, and this Skeleton Barrel will not have the support to get to the Princess Tower. But because it did, it's now getting to the tower, and then this Dart Goblin gets to have fun because it took out the Musketeer, and the zap was used on the skeletons and not him. And because the zap was used on the skeletons, that was the signal for Ruben to go with the barrel. He cycled through, and now we have a game. This is, I mean, that whole sequence right there was just unbelievable by Ruben, because he's saying, I'm not going to let you tell me when it's time to go. I'm going, and now you're going to have to answer. And now he has the lead. Let's look at this for a second here, because we have the princess who's going on the left and Dart Goblin's on the right. This triangle of an attack is just, I thought it was just really fantastic by Ruben. And he did it a few times in this game here. But really, we're seeing it play out to maximum effect right here, because you have this mini who was going to go after Dart Goblin and this tower, but now it got distracted by the skeletons, which means it has to go to the center, and you see these two attack mini, and it's just not even relevant. Now it's up to them. Can they answer the Goblin Giant? They go after that, and they deal with that until Musketeer gets rid of this Dart Goblin. So you see how the triangle of an attack was just so ideal in this situation. Here it's kind of not an equal triangle, and then it closes in until it looks like this, and that gives the opportunity for this Musketeer to take out this Dart Goblin. So then this resets here with this princess. They're both going to be attacking this Goblin Giant. And then now they have to answer the Sparky, because they already answered this Musketeer. Here comes the skeletons to stop that. And they did their job. So that was incredible. But there was a lot happened that beyond those that Dart Goblin and those two princesses. So we have to rewind. First is the Skeleton Barrel and the Knight over here. Okay, so this Knight comes in, and it's used in a way to protect this princess, because this Knight is already, this mini is already going to be answered by the skeletons. So this Knight is going to protect this princess, which is fine. It already did it. It already did that. Now it's going to answer to this princess tower right here, while this Skeleton Barrel zooms up, and while this Princess Tower is distracted, the skeleton should take a lot of damage. That was the plan until this Goblin Giant came in. There goes Knight. And now he's walking around. Long stroll along the river. And Sparky says, see you later. So while that's happening, here comes this musketeer, takes out the Dart Goblin. And so that Dart Goblin, here comes this princess now, and then we have this new triangle set up where they're having the answer to this musketeer and this Sparky. And while that's happening, this barrel goes down, and those minions make sure that they don't do as much damage as they could. They did some, but it could have been really worse if they weren't around. And now this barrel is going to try to get there. It doesn't. This triangle is still active until this princess gets to the tower. And now we have to do it again. Because here comes this mini and this Goblin Giant with Sparky. It feels like it, and it doesn't feel like it is a recap of the beginning of the game where we saw this mini get in 2 shots on the princess tower after it took out this princess. Now this princess is behind the tower. So something has to take care of this mini first. This Goblin Giant is already answering to the Inferno Tower. Okay, so we took care of that on the weak side. Now we have to focus on what's happening over here. This is just amazing by Ruben, especially given the troops that he picked for this game going up against these 2 heavyweights. So Sparky finishes off that. And this rage, I thought this was going to be enough, but here comes this barrel that just gets in. And this Dart Goblin, again, this triangle of an attack with this Princess Dart Goblin on the Sparky. And the Sparky just gets the tower. I could not believe it. And I thought when that Sparky got in, I thought that was game over. Because even though Anaban's tower is at 382, I'm not sure that throwing barrels at it is going to be enough, especially, we're a minute 43 left in double extra time, but there's going to be enough time for Anaban to answer that. And I thought when Sparky got through, that was going to be it. Those were unfortunate minions because I thought also that these minions were going to lock in on the Inferno Tower first and not the Goblin Giant. But it just so happened that happened. That Spark stops the Inferno Tower attack. And now we got to push. Dart Goblin again. Musketeer has to answer the barrel. Here comes Goblin Barrel, and that pretty much was it. He just threw everything at the tower to finish it off. It was really incredible. We got to rewind that again because, again, the timing of when troops were deployed turned out to be key in sealing this this ending right here. Don't worry about the princess. The princess is slow. Yes, it has a long range. It's really about the Dart Goblin and the Skeleton Barrel. Again, as we saw earlier in the game, where the Musketeer had the answer to the Skeleton Barrel first, which allowed the Dart Goblin to do what he could on that Musketeer. So once that dropped, once the Skeleton Barrel dropped, the Musketeer turned her attention to the Dart Goblin instead, which allowed these skeletons to come in. And these minions were around to try to get rid of the skeletons, but once those skeletons were already down, the barrel was on its way with the snowball, and that was enough. And even if it wasn't enough, this princess was going to be around to finish it off. So really, it was just an incredible first game by Ruben. I mean, Anaban played it amazing as well, but Ruben, to go up against a Goblin Giant and Sparky with this lineup here, this a log bait-ish type of lineup, I mean, I was mind blown when I saw this. I knew this was going to be a hype finals, but it was incredible just from start to finish. The plays that both players made to try to get a tower, I mean, this is next level Clash Royale at its finest, and this NoTilt Grand Finals 1v1. I mean, everybody expected it to be Anaban versus Ruben if it got to that, and this game won. And as we're going to see in the rest of the series, because I'm going to be analyzing the other game, it just lived up to the hype. So I'm going to end the video right here. We can see the stats, you know, pretty much what you would expect. Mini got in a few times. Musketeer, Sparky, Rage was used a few times. And this Heal Spirit, it didn't look like it did much, but, you know, we saw it toward the end. It kept Mini alive. There were some moments where it just took out skeletons, but nothing doing like a major hog deck or anything like that. But, you know, the big guns with Musketeer, everybody else just kept it in the game. And then Goblin Barrel 6 times, Skeleton Barrel 6 times, Dart Goblin might have been MVP. So, yeah, everybody was pretty much the MVP in getting this win. It's a team win for Team Queso and Ruben. So, yeah, I'm going to end the video here now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're watching us. And I'll see you in the next video.